Stan says, eagerly awaiting my 4K of Existenz, and I think that is the perfect cue to get into this week's announcements. What do you say?
Oh, I'm stoked. But first, how was your Thanksgiving?
Well, we talked about this last week because it was on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was good. I'm
Oh,
less
yeah, we did.
full. I'm less full now, and that's the good thing.
Yeah, I'm stuffed.
So let's get into this. Titles from last week. We did talk about these on the live show, but now that it's been a week and everything is sunk in a little bit, we're going to do just a quick highlight of some of these and go over what was announced during Black Friday after the sale went live, since we didn't cover these in the announcement show last week. The first, of course, is that one of the mystery titles from Vinegar Syndrome was Existenz on 4K. It appears it's coming in a hard box with a slip on the inside of that, and it looks like a pretty dang solid release. We've got some commentaries on here.
A flesh covered.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Flesh textured slipcover. Ugh. Ronnie didn't get anything in the VS sale, bought more Criterion. Man, there's a couple Criterion I still want, and I have not picked up. Existenz has some new interviews, but it's got 3 archival commentaries and a new commentary, so there is a lot on this, plus a 40-page perfect bound book. And one of the people that wrote on it is Justin LaLiberty of Vinegar Syndrome, who is a big fan of this movie. This is like one of his favorite films of all time, so I'm sure it was something that he's wanted to write on for a long time. What about you, Existenz? Or was this one that you're like super excited about? I don't think we've ever really talked about Cronenberg in depth before together.
No, you and I haven't, not on this show at least. I'm excited for it. I love the movie. I think it's a big get for Vinegar Syndrome.
It is,
and definitely one of my favorite Cronenbergs. I get to replace my shitty DVD copy of it in my personal collection. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to feeling the flesh texture.
It's such a gross way to word that, but it's also really exciting for what it is. So yeah, I'm very eager to see this. And then I guess we should kind of highlight too, it is Thursday after the Black Friday sale that was over Monday night and then technically got extended 12 hours into Tuesday for some people. And people are already getting shipping announcements. People got shipping notifications. People got those starting yesterday. Like, these packages are already going out from VS, which fastest I've heard of it in a long time. I've not got mine.
You were one of the people that got the extra 12 hours though, right?
I did, and I did not get anything during that time.
Not even the exclusive shirt?
No, I didn't want. I've got way too many shirts.
I was very tempted, but I didn't either. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't even get a $50 worth to get the $10 coupon, and I probably should have.
Yeah, free money.
Basically. Dustin says they should do a matching Crash release that's wound textured. Oh,
I'm sure that's right around the corner, wouldn't you say? They had a 4K restoration of Crash at Beyond Fest this year.
Well, 4K of Crash was released by Aralo, and I almost expect Crash might go to Criterion.
That's a good point. I remember Arrow. I meant Region A, but yeah, Criterion, I guess, would be maybe more likely than.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they got it. Dang, Hoax got my package today. Still waiting for the sign, though. Jeez.
You got your package already in less than a week?
You must live like 2 blocks away from the archive.
Do you work for Vinegar Syndrome?
USPS took it off their truck after they put it on and said, "Here you go, sir." Yeah, and Existenz did sell very well. I think you and I were talking, or no, I was talking to Brian, a friend of the show, about this. And he was surprised that they'd sold out 2/3 of Existenz on Sunday. But yeah, if they are already down to 1,722 out of 10,000, that is mighty impressive.
Did you see that Severin Black Mass bundle did finally sell out?
Yeah, it took a good almost 24 hours, which it's kind of surprising that it took that long, but it's also not surprising.
Yeah, real mixed feelings. But I'm glad it at least sold out over the weekend of the sale. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have felt real bad about the trigger that I pulled.
Let's go to the next title. The other mystery title was The Black Room from 1981. There are lots of people that are super excited about this title, and I must admit, I am very much like others. I had never heard of this one, but after reading on it and how many people have been affected by this, I'm certainly into it. This one sounds really fun.
I know nothing about it, and I did not hear how people were affected by it, but I love the cover.
Yes. Yes, it's pretty good.
As a subscriber, it's going to show up on my doorstep, so I look forward to watching it.
Yeah, and good point from Ronnie. Don't forget 16 partner label announcements tomorrow. And if I'm remembering right, we should be getting 2 new partner labels for the first time, IFC, and I believe the other one is Art Label, which is ran by one of the individuals that used to be at Culture Shock Releasing.
Wow. I don't know if I have the stamina, bandwidth, or wallet room to worry about 16 partner labels tomorrow. Holy cow.
Dallas says, it didn't really sell out truther. Let's dive into that a little bit. Send another comment. Are you saying that it didn't sell 80? What is the number? 8,278. You think they fudged those numbers at Vinegar Syndrome?
I think he's talking about the Severin bundle.
Got it. The Severin bundle, they didn't sell 100 bundles at $50 or $500. I mean, that's a good $50,000 right there. To be fair, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I get that. I do think Severin is fairly transparent about that. I wouldn't think Severin would lie about that.
It also would be silly to market as sold out if it actually wasn't before the end of the weekend and not have people be able to buy it.
Especially if it's something for $500.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to just turn off on incoming. Next up, Untold Story 2 is one of the VSAs that they announced from this weekend, and this one looks incredible. We talked about this last week. It's got a commentary track with Sam Deegan, and it's got nothing else. So I'm very curious to see this film. I wish it had a little bit more on it, but
honestly, even better artwork than The Black Room.
Yeah. I had to look at the back to remember, but yeah.
I like the style of it.
Yeah, I do too. Key-Ray says Cat 3 goodness. Yeah, give me all of those Cat 3 titles, please. If you're subscribed to the newsletter for Deaf Crocodile, they're announcing 2 new titles tomorrow, along with that new title pre-sale. So you'll hear about 3 brand new titles tomorrow from DC. Make sure you subscribe there. Oh, that's great. Going to the next VSA, which is A Gun for Jennifer, which, speaking of art over the last couple titles, this is one that everybody on the internet seems to be very upset about the cover art on.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't think it's amazing, but I don't see anything that would make me complain vocally necessarily.
It's the weakest art of the 3.
Oh, by far, yeah. Decent looking extras on this one though, and it is a VSA, and they don't always get a lot of extras, so I'll be pretty happy about that. Yeah, VSAs are an odd bunch. But after that, we also got a brand new label from Vinegar Syndrome, which is DeGosser Video, and they are releasing Redneck Zombies on Blu-ray. Here is the slipcover art on this one, which looks pretty rad. On this, we've got a whole bunch of extras, including a new critical commentary track with James Branscombe and Nick Vance of the Cinematic Void podcast, and then an alternate 20th anniversary edit of Redneck Zombies. And, making of documentary that was never finished. 83-minute making of documentary from this year with interviews with the cast and crew, which is pretty dang cool. And then an in memoriam section, bunch of trailers and all that other fun stuff. This looks like a solid release. Anthony wants to know, Jeremy, what are you eating?
I haven't eaten all day, and because I didn't get the chance to get home before jumping on the show, and I'm doing it from the production office, I'm having some white cheddar popcorn.
Nice.
And some Reese's cups. I gotta stay awake, y'all.
Was
It's been a
that
few weeks.
Skinny Pop popcorn?
It was Skinny Pop popcorn.
You know, you could
Hopefully, you
eat the
can get
bun if
some.
you wanted. I had to make a Bottoms reference while you're here. Come on.
No, I like them. Yeah, Bottom's one of the best movies of the year. But hopefully, maybe you can get some advertising dollars from Skinny Pop.
Probably not. Not a sponsor, but if they want to be, my wallet is open. Uh,
That's what I'm trying
uh,
to do. Nothing like a cool, refreshing Pepsi Cola when you are trying to stay awake for a 3-hour live stream.
at least 3 hours. I love this. Brent said this last week. Redneck Zombies came out on Blu-ray for almost $30, and Brent said, I picked up the DVD from MVD for 99 cents because it's not going to look any better. It's a tape master.
Yeah, that's a good point. But you don't get this cool artwork on the cover.
And that's obviously worth $29.
And the cardboard slip. Don't forget about that.
That cardboard is gold for some of these people. They also announced these really interesting light-up VHS releases for their DeGosser titles. They put out Redneck Zombies VHS and a Rad VHS to celebrate the launch of the line. And they're cool looking, but they were also $60 looking. That's a lot of cheese for a VHS release in 2023.
Especially after you just spent $500 over at Severn.
So wait, you did not buy these?
I did not. They do look really cool. If I would have gotten either of them, it would have been the Redneck Zombies. But you know, I mean, I have a lot of knickknacks and collectibles and things, but I was like, well, these would honestly just sit on my shelf, and I would never actually watch it on VHS, especially with the Blu-ray copy. So,
Brian Sauer from Just the Disc says, "Hey, that's Jeremy Long. I can officially say I've met him in person
at the grand reopening of the Egyptian Theater, where they screened The Killer with a Q&A with David Fincher, which was a lot of fun. I unknowingly sat next to him.
Oh, nice. I don't think you told me about that.
And he introduced himself after the movie and Q&A were over. And yeah, once again, I get recognized from this show and not anything else.
Wait, you're a comedian?
Wait, are you that guy from that one episode of America Says?
I think I saw you in the background of Mom for just a second, right?
Pretty sure I saw you in the stadium seats of the football stadium scene of The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, no, that couldn't have been you. That was obviously Dave Grohl.
Can you imagine Dave Grohl being in the background of some movie and not getting credited, and it's just like an Easter egg? Like, can you spot him? Or literally any celebrity.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
That's an inside joke. Jeremy is from the Scream Factory group on Facebook, and many times he has gone into the group and made a post that says "Happy birthday" to our admin Ryan, and he gets like 50 people to say happy birthday, and I have to come in and say it's not my birthday. It's like March 12th. Come on,
that's my birthday. You knowingly just say my birthday?
Again, subconscious, I believe. All right. Next up was the catalog slipcovers for Angel, which they do look pretty great. But likewise, they only look great when you put them next to each other. And is anybody going to display these, all three titles, next to each other somewhere?
I ordered them, and I will. Maybe for at least a couple weeks or something, and then I'll put them back on the shelf.
Yeah, that's probably true. I've seen your setup. Craig says, "I love that Ryan's mic has horns tonight." I will get.
Ooh, good point.
Let's see. Next up, they also put out an LED sign, now playing sign, Redneck Zombies pin with liquid in it, a whole bunch of shirts. They kind of went all out on merch this time.
If you bought that LED sign in the chat, please let us know. I'd love to know if anybody who's watching bought it.
I think Hoax was saying he was waiting for a sign to come in. He got his order, just not the sign.
Oh, that's right. He did say that.
Yeah, so I mean, they sold out. A lot of people, I think it was 150 it was limited to, or was that was the price? Was it I don't remember the limit at this point.
No, it was 150. I think it was
Okay.
150. Yeah. I think the price was, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, it's 2 feet by 3 feet. That's a pretty nice size for the
No,
sign
it's
like
a
that.
badass sign that I would honestly have gotten if I knew where the hell I'd put it in my apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And if I
mean,
didn't just buy that Severin bundle. Those are the
I
two.
guar I guarantee you within a month, 2 or 3 YouTubers are gonna have that in the background, just be like,
Yeah,
"Yep."
for sure, for sure.
Don't worry, Hoax, we are genuinely jealous. Nobody's making fun of you.
Oh, I'm stoked for you, Hoax. Yeah. You're talking to the guy who bought the Black Mass bundle. I'm not giving you any shit for buying a sign.
Not to
Don't
mention,
worry.
last time on this channel, you spent 45 minutes debating a Ninja Star, decided
Correct.
no, and then 45 minutes later started questioning it.
Yes. That's all accurate. So no one's making fun of you, Hoax.
What's going on, Neil? Next up, after that, we went to the Melusine site, and part of the Quality Xline, they were putting out Deep Inside Annie Sprinkle, and not a ton of stuff on this disc, but it looked like an interesting release. The back of the slipcover is interesting.
I really hope they show this at the New Bev.
You remember that circle that Celeste told us to go take a look at last time?
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. It's my new screensaver.
Did you say new or nude? Because yes.
Both.
Going to the next one. We had found out that Arbalos released Twilight. This is
We found that out live on air, didn't we?
Yeah, and this slip looks great. Art on this looks amazing. It's coming with this poster on the inside. This is Twilight from 1990, and it is a brand new 4K restoration, done from the original 35 millimeter camera negative by the National Film Institute from the Hungarian Film Archive and Film Lab. And they've got a 12-page booklet on this with the new essay, and that's about it.
I pre-ordered it.
We got some short films. I need to pre-order it. Arbalos is kind of always amazing.
Yeah, I've been really liking their stuff. I mean, obviously they don't have too many releases yet, but I went ahead and put in a pre-order of this and their other new title.
Yeah.
After our stream last week.
Sardis says I ordered 2 from them and already got shipping notice. Nice.
Nice.
Hoax forgot about the porn, the sale, forgot they separated it. Yeah, that's still kind of frustrating. Is the poster a side exclusive for Twilight? Yes, it is.
As well as the slip.
As well as the slip, which is one of their fancy envelope style slips.
Yeah.
John Peters says real men bought the Black Emmanuel calendar. Jeremy's got one of those coming.
Technically, and I don't even want it. It was like the only thing in the bundle. I was like, don't need this.
You can frame it. Next one. This came out of nowhere on Friday. Second Sight announced that Inside from 2007, the French extremity film, is coming on February 5th.
Very excited.
Yeah, this is a wonderful, wonderful surprise. They have 2 new audio commentaries, one by Anna Bogatskaya, sorry, said that last name wrong, and it's probably still wrong. One by Elena Lazik, new interview with the co-writer and directors Alexander Bustillo and Julian Mori, new interview with the actor Alison Paradis, new interview with the producer, new interview with the cinematographer, new interview with the stunt coordinator. We got Rigid Slipcase with a 70-page book with new essays by Chad Collins, Kat Ellinger, Annie Rose Malamet, and Hannah Strong. Inside, how do you feel about this film?
Love it. This and one other release that I'm sure we'll get to here towards the end are my 2 favorite announcements of the month.
I know which one you're talking about, and yes, we will absolutely get to it.
Obviously, Second Sight's probably my favorite label. Actually, I think their releases are amazing in general, like individually, but their catalog is just through the roof. Like everything they put out is like, yes, give it to me now, types of movies in my book, for me personally. And they've been on a French extremity kick recently. This High Tension. What was the other one? There's one I'm forgetting.
Frontiers.
Yes, yes. So you know,
I would hope that if they're going to go this deep, I would love to see a second sight release of Martyrs. I know Umbrella put it out. I don't have the giant Umbrella box. I would love to have a big, especially if they could do a really nice 4K of Martyrs, because I think it's deserving of
if
a
they could
4K.
do a really nice 4K of Martyrs and do it like a drive box or freaking The Guest, you know, one of those really big releases, that'd be
The
amazing.
thick boys.
Yeah, the thick boys.
I would also. I don't think we've talked about this one. Have you seen the French extremity film Them or Ills?
I have not.
It is a wonderful one, and I would hope that they would be able to do that one too. I think people should check that one out if you've never seen it. It is a home invasion story that is done really well, and it's this crazy layout of a house, and they are working on half of it. So it's one of those creepy setups where there's like sheets hanging for like fake hallways, where they're like trying to corner off for dust and all that, and it makes for some really like provocative lighting and in these scenes that where you are trying to think around the corner is going to be nothing here, but when you come it's creepy because everything looks the same. Great film. Really really creepy setup, nice twist in that movie. Yeah.
I hope so too. That sounds amazing. I've never seen it. I would love. I mean, a lot of these French extremity films don't have really good releases. You know what I mean?
True.
Including Inside. So if they could just, if they do want to keep going down that route and give us some really good, not just quality releases in terms of the film itself, but the box and bonus content and everything else like that, like this release here, that'd be great. I say keep going.
Oh man, I'm getting a lot of love for the Ills tonight. That's good. That is wonderful. Yeah, this is an exciting release for me. I think it was Sibner that asked, was there another Blu-ray release of this in the past? Because there's no notes on the transfer. I will say that is one thing that I've noticed about some labels lately is there's no notes. Like Imprint never says anything about the transfer. Second Sight doesn't always say stuff about the transfer. Most of the time they don't. I really wish they would. I wish they all would.
Yeah, I agree. DC also mentioned that the news we found out just this morning, I believe, that High
Yes.
Tension is delayed until January.
True. And oh, I'm sorry, Ronnie. I am very much not French. You don't pronounce the S in the word ill, I assume then.
Copy.
I should probably learn how to say that before I speak it in front of many, many people. Yes, I agree with Paul. I feel like if they have something notable and new, like a new 4K scan, they will mention it. However, some people like if you want to make an informed decision about buying, the best way to do that is by having the most information possible. So yes, on some of these releases, it might have the same transfer and somebody might still be pushed over the edge because of a new commentary for somebody they like, or it's their favorite film and they want to say, well, if it looks different at all, I still want to pick it up. So it would just be nice to know, how does it compare to my previous copy? And it's nice, like when Kino comes out and says, this is from the 2015 scan of this film from Paramount. Okay, it's 8 years old, and I can still choose, is this going to get another release soon with the new restoration? Honestly, probably not. I could probably pick this title up, whatever it is, in this make-believe title that I just made up in my mind. So yeah, more information is always better. Let's see. Just be like Scream Factory and announce the extras days before the release. Please don't do that. Nobody be like Scream Factory in that regard. Then we got some Arrow announcements, and boy, were people making fun of Arrow on Friday. People a little bit left down. This one is a fairly light month from them. The first thing is we're getting Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978 on 4K from Arrow. Surprise from no one. This is one that they were definitely going to be doing. It's coming out on 4K and Blu-ray on February 12th in the UK, and this is going to have a lot of the same special features from previous releases. It's also going to have 6 postcard-sized art cards, double-sided fold-out poster, all of that fun stuff. But the big thing is this will likely fix some of the audio issues that were in the Kino Lorber release of this. So make sure if you have the Kino one and you want the best release of this, you actually might want this release because the Kino one has some audio dropouts. Bradley Pooper is the other big news, the release date of the Marvels on DVD with 2 6-minute featurettes. No, I did not. I don't think that's been announced yet, has it? That would be sad. Yes, Coffin Joe has been delayed, I believe, twice now, sadly.
I still have to pre-order that. You reminded me. Thank you.
I'm honestly surprised that one's still available to pre-order.
Looks like I'm putting in another grindhouse.
The next one, they are offering a site-exclusive cover of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, of course. So you can pick that up from the Arrow site. And oh man, Jeremy is going to talk about this one a lot. Michael says, Jeremy, any chance you've seen Poor Things? Looks amazing. Calling Emma Stone for an Oscar. Well, let's talk about Oscars after the announcements tonight.
We'll talk about Oscars after the announcements. I will say I have seen it 3 times, and it's phenomenal. And
you've seen it 3 times already?
Yeah.
I only knew of the once. How did you see it the next 2 times?
I keep getting invited to screenings, and the first time I saw it, it was just because I was so desperate to see it. It didn't have any kind of Q&A. I wanted to see it really early. And then I got invited to one with a Q&A with Emma and Yorgos and the writer Tony Mac.
I knew about that one. That's right.
And then I got invited again, and Mark Ruffalo was there. So I was like, well, I have to get that one too. and because I love the movie. But we'll talk about that later during our Oscar talk.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a good conversation. So yeah, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And then they also announced Fear is the Key coming on Blu-ray in the US and Canada on February 13th. This is a film that was previously released on imprint. And I got to say, great movie. Philip Kaufman, Donald Sutherland. Wait, why? Those were still there. Why did I just say those out loud? Not those guys. We're talking about Alistair MacLean and John Talbot. And he is played by Mr. Newman in this. And let's see. Here's
Mr. Newman.
Mr. Newman. Ben Kingsley in his first movie role. That's right. Yeah, those were carried over hashtags, and I should not have read those. Yes, Fear is the Key is absolutely great. Must be nice living in LA. Must
I just
be.
Responded. It has its pros and cons. Smog-filled air, but you get to see Emma Stone twice.
Thanks, Tony. Okay, and then that is just about it for Arrow. We got one more, The Shaolin Plot from 1977, coming in the US and Canada on February 13th. So we've got the 2 Blu-rays coming in the US and Canada, and then Invasion of the Body Snatchers in the UK. That is it. This one is going to have commentary by Frank Jang and Michael Worth, a commentary by Mike Leader and Arna Venema, and a double-sided fold-out poster and all of that usual Arrow goodness. They've done some really great stuff this year, I got to admit. I've been fairly, I don't want to say like harsh on Arrow over the last couple of years because they had a rough couple of years, but man, I feel like this year has been a big turnaround for Arrow.
Yeah, we got Trevor's 2. We got that beautiful Wolf of Wall Street release with the cool packaging.
That was last year, but yes.
Oh, then they had a good 2 years.
Barbarella just came out. They've got the big thing, probably the biggest thing from them all year is that Bruce Lee 4K set in the UK, which is amazing. So yeah, they've been quietly doing some great stuff, and we will get to talk about them more through the Shelf Shock Rewind Award stuff as we start picking that up. Literally just tomorrow, the CSC is going to start their nominations for all of our categories. And if you are in the Discord for Disconnected, I
Oh, yeah.
shared what all of the categories are because we've had some changes from last year, and those will be going out publicly soon. But if you want to chat about those, Discord link for the Patreon is in the description below. Arrow's quietly putting out some really cool stuff like Borsalino, Murphy's War, Day of the Locust. Forgot about the Hellraiser
Yeah, we
Quartet
forgot about
Torment
Hellraiser. Yeah,
and the
that was
Psycho
a big one.
set. That one
Yeah.
is almost more impressive. Does Jeremy live in a trailer next to a drive-in like Cliff Booth?
I wish. I'm actually in my office. I don't know how much of that I can show. Cut this part out. No, I'm not. I'm not currently home. Whoever said that. Oh, Carrie. Although that would be cool. First of all, I just wish drive-ins still existed. But if I live next to one, even better.
There was a really crappy drive-in in my hometown. I need to know if it's still open. It
We
used
had a
to.
drive-in that was only about an hour away, Mission Tiki Drive-in, that was a prime spot during the pandemic when all the theaters were closed. And then right after the pandemic, it shut down.
Yep.
So sad.
We our drive-in in my hometown used to change ownership like every 18 months. And after it changed ownership, it would be closed down for like 6 months for repairs and upgrades. And it would open and still the hell? I guess it's happy birthday.
Is that because you did this?
Yeah, I
This
think
means
so.
happy birthday?
Yeah, so they'd be closed for repairs. It might only be me because I'm the host. Let me see.
Oh, you don't even have to do the quotes. You just give a peace sign and balloons.
Probably. So
What the hell?
if that's the anyways, so yeah, they'd close and say there's repairs and stuff coming, and it would open and it would be exactly the same. It was always so
Yeah.
frustrating.
Honestly, I don't know who. I might get some slack depending on if people in LA are listening to this. But the Vista Theater just reopened. I don't know if you heard about this, even though you're not out here in LA, Ryan.
Yep.
But it was days after the Egyptian. The big three we were waiting to reopen was the Vista, the Egyptian, and the Dome.
El Capitan.
They closed. So we got two of the three so far. But the Vista, I honestly have zero idea what remodels they did. It looks exactly the same to me. The Egyptian, you can tell. The Vista looks exactly the same.
They swept out the air ducts, maybe.
Yeah. I went with my friends Mike and Sophia, and Sophia's like, I think maybe they changed that one statue over there in the corner.
The repairs is changing out a statue. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
I'm sure
Next
they
up.
did stuff.
Imprint. They announced a bunch of titles as well. We got Face to Face from 1976 coming on February 28th. This one is Ingmar Bergman's Oscar-nominated psychological drama coming to Blu-ray for the first time anywhere in the world.
So not in the Criterion Bergman set.
Correct. And this is the only one, I believe, of Bergman's titles that has never been on HD before tonight. Dustin says, "Do the balloon thingy again." It's too funny.
You got $10 for it. Do it.
I will, but I think there's a couple more. So I'm going to see. I think one is a full hand. I don't remember what they are. Okay, we'll go to. Is it a wave? Oh, I remember one. It's this. I think it's fireworks.
And you suddenly turn into a noir film when the fireworks go off.
Oh, I love that. Thanks, Dustin. What's going on, Dale? Face to Face was also Batman Returns theme song. Yes. Ryan, do this. Okay. There's another one, maybe. Oh,
that's to Dustin for the $10.
Dustin thinks it is an OnlyFans private chat. Craig, you just lost.
Yeah, my pants are already off, and if somebody gives $100, we'll start removing other clothing.
Mary says, "I worked at the Crest in high school many moons ago." Thanks for the fireworks day, Antonio. Okay, so yes, this is a big title. We've got, let's see, new audio commentary by Michael Brook on this one, and then Kat Ellinger doing a video essay, which I can't wait to see that visual essay. I also got to say, the cover on the insert here, I actually really like this.
I do too. I like both the covers.
Yeah, they're
I
both
think
not bad.
the slip is great too.
Yeah, but as like a psychological drama, I think this is a really well made design.
Well, I'm excited for that one because obviously I love Bergman, and I'm looking forward to. I've never seen that one, so I'm looking forward to adding it to the collection.
And that's why I love Imprint, because this is the next one, and this is The Dresser from 1983, and it's again worldwide first on Blu-ray. How many
Wow.
times are we saying this every single month for Imprint? It is always
Yep.
impressive. This is such a big deal.
Bobby Fischer, all kinds of throughout this whole year.
We don't know special features on this; those will be announced later. They are probably still working on it. Dallas's cat is everywhere. We love to see it. Exactly.
The Crest in Westwood, what is that, Mary? Mary Sullivan says, "Don't you know the Crest in Westwood?"
Theater or a drive-in, maybe?
Oh, if it's a drive-in, that'd be. I'm not that far from Westwood. That'd be great. I didn't know about it.
I feel like I remember the Crest being a theater, not a drive-in.
Oh, okay.
Next up is Mountains of the Moon from 1990. Once again, worldwide first on Blu-ray. Just adding to their wonderful output. On this, we also have an interview with the director that's brand new. Interview with Peter Raffleson, which is son of director Bob Raffleson. Some featurettes, and this again just startling how many times Imprint is able to do this.
Yeah.
Love their output for sure.
Okay, thanks for confirming. I mean, I'll still visit. I love going to new theaters if it's just a theater. I haven't heard of the Crest. Have you seen Godzilla Zero yet?
Me, no. Have you? I don't remember you talking about it. Oh, you saw it last night. That's why I haven't been told about it.
Yeah, that's why you haven't been told about it yet. Remember that scene in Charlie's Angels where Sam Rockwell, as Eric Knox, is dancing while drinking Coke out of a straw?
I think so, but it's also been a very, very long time.
There's this one in Godzilla Zero. There's this one moment where, well, there's several moments in the score where it sounds. You know that one song, da-na-na-na-na. Anyways, we'll talk about it later. There's so many moments in the score where it sounded like they were going to do that song. If anybody's seeing Godzilla -1 in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. It sounded like they were just going to break into that song all of a sudden, even though it's a Japanese film. But I'm like, what's going on here? But it was always just the opening of the song.
I wouldn't put it past them, that's for sure.
It would have been hilarious.
So I am not entirely sure what happened, but while I posted the announcement for this, they had put the wrong title on here, and I just followed their lead because I was in such a rush to get announcements out. This one's called A Man in Love, and it's from 1987, not called Mountains of the Moon from 1990. This one is going to have a new audio commentary by Alexandra Heller Nicholas, which I will happily say I have an interview with her coming out on the channel here in a couple weeks.
Amazing.
Alexandra is amazing, and I can't wait to share that one. This one looks pretty dang great, and it was nominated for the Palme d'Or. It can. Next title is I'm Not Scared from 2003. This is coming to Blu-ray for the first time anywhere in the world. Gotta love that. This one is based on the 2001 novel that was written by Niccolo Amaniti. I'm Not Scared was nominated for the Golden Berlin Bear and the 2003 Berlin International Film Festival. And it's going to have a new interview with the director, a couple actors, writers, and a documentary featurette, behind the scenes featurette, and a vintage interview. I mean, just adding to their repertoire again.
Yeah, it looks like I'm spending a lot of money at Imprint in the near future.
Yeah, they are somebody that is always really getting stuff that people have not even tried for, and I love it. I love it.
Oh, Dell got it. That's the song I'm talking about. If you go see Godzilla -1 or Godzilla 0 because of inflation, um, then literally, if you know that song or go or listen, anybody who's going to go see that movie, listen to it before you go to the movie. And there's several moments where the score sounds like it's about to break into that song, and it just doesn't. It was such a tease.
How did you feel about the movie overall, other than just good? Like, you feel it's pretty great for what it is?
I liked it a lot. It's a really good story behind all the Godzilla craziness, which I really liked. I got a bit choked up.
Did you see Shin Godzilla when it came out?
I haven't watched that one. No.
Hmm.
It's a nice throwback to like the early days of Godzilla because at first one of my critiques was like, "Oh, Godzilla feels like very like stiff and robotic," and I was like, "Well, I think they did that on purpose to kind of do like a throwback Godzilla instead of these like really CGI Godzilla that we've seen in the more recent movies like Godzilla King of the Monsters and stuff." So I don't know if it's so much of a critique either anymore as it is of like, I don't know. Anyways, I like that. I gave it 4 stars.
I will say Graham Skipper, who is the one that was hired by Toho to write the exhaustive history of Godzilla. It's a book that came out, I believe, last fall. It's fantastic. He was invited to the premiere for the film, and he posted that it is the best Godzilla film since the first one. And for
Wow.
somebody immersed in the world like that, that
Yeah.
means a lot.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't lie because he said a lot of great things about Shin Godzilla, but never said anything like it being the best one since the first. That's a big deal for him.
That's a big statement. Yeah. Especially coming from somebody like that. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
Next title is Children of Heaven from 1997. This is an Iranian drama that was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars. And this one is not having any special features revealed yet. We'll find out later on those. But this looks like a really beautiful piece.
Like
It says, a poor brother and sister dream up a plan to stay out of trouble after one of them loses their pair of school shoes. Looks like a good one. Next up, we got a Peter Bogdanovich film coming from Kino Lorber, Someday, Daisy Miller from 1974. This has a 4K scan of the OCN, brand new master by Paramount, and we'll get this one eventually. Not sure when, but considering it's already been scanned, I wouldn't be surprised if we have this before the end of the summer. I know that sounds like a far ways away, but...
I'll always support Bogdanovich, but I will not support Kino until they give me brain donors.
January, my friend. Antonio says, are the owners of Imprint British? I don't think so. I mean, I know they're in Australia, but I don't think they're British at all. Joel from Scarecrow Video says, Godzilla -1 is almost the polar opposite of Shin Godzilla. Interesting.
But both
are fantastic.
Silent Mandible says, I have to watch Shin Godzilla, so I will.
And then Carrie Mulligan says, while the film wasn't one of my favorites that year, the trailer for Godzilla King of the Monsters is one of the best trailers I've ever seen. I agree. It's a good trailer. Very good trailer. Next up is another Kino title. This one is Underworld from 1927 coming on Blu-ray. This is a 2020 master by Paramount from a 4K scan. This is one that has been released as part of the Criterion set, I believe. And I'm not entirely sure if that's going out of print or not. So I'm very curious because it's directed by Joseph von Sternberg. So I'm not entirely sure if that one is going to be still available or not. I guess we will find out over time.
And don't worry, I did give Celeste my full breakdown and review of Mr. Monk's last case.
Oh, good.
She was eagerly awaiting that.
Dell says, I wanted to love King of the Monsters, but all the fighting was filmed so dark I could barely make anything out. I think that was on purpose to hide what they couldn't do.
in my opinion, out of that whole kind of new world building that they're doing, even extending into the new show Monarch on Apple, my favorite's still Kong Skull Island. I love that one.
Kong is pretty great.
But I do like Godzilla versus Kong as well. I think those two stand stronger to me than either of the two solo Godzilla movies in that new universe.
I got a soft spot for Cranston in Godzilla for some reason.
Well, Cranston's a master. I hear that.
That's true. They also announced at Kino that they will soon be releasing Shane from 1953 on 4K UHD. It will have a brand new HDR Dolby Vision master from a 4K scan of the OCN. This is a title that people love. I've not been able to see this one, but it's got Jack Palance, and it's supposed to be a big one. Supposed to be a big one.
Sorry, ever since I linked my account and I can text in the chat now, I get distracted sometimes.
Craig says the first half of Godzilla with Cranston is fantastic. Then it becomes a completely different movie, and it's not a good one. Yeah, I agreed there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's how I feel about Kong versus Godzilla too.
All right. Next is Scarlet Street from Kino is coming on January 30th on 4K and Blu-ray. This is going to have a new audio commentary by Imogen Sarah Smith. Also going to have the older commentary by David Kalat. And yeah, looks like a nice solid release. And then we've got this alternate sleeve art on the inside. Another Fritz Lang film coming to 4K. This looks amazing.
Yeah.
The Brie Larson lore continues.
I'll never live that down. But
next,
you know what makes up for Brie Larson? You can keep John Goodman in Kong Skull Island.
That's true. That's true.
He's reprising his role in the Monarch show.
Is he?
I don't know if you started watching it or yet, not yet, but he's in. He's in it.
I've never watched a single thing on Apple TV. If it's on Apple TV, it does not exist to me.
Kind of like me on Amazon Prime.
Exactly. I put up an interview with Lucky McKee, the writer and director who did May and The Woman and Old Man. Did a segment of Tales of Halloween this week. Hope everybody can give that a watch.
Which, by the way, we're obviously very, very good friends. Everybody who is fans of the channel knows that. Not trying to blow smoke because I love you and I would be honest with you. This is one of your best interviews yet. Oh. And everybody should go watch it because it was a fantastic, very candid interview, and I really enjoyed it.
You don't comment on many of them, so that means a lot. Thank you. Why was this one so different?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, you and I, this is something we have talked about before off chat. That your interview style and candor has grown since you first started doing the interviews on your channel.
Yeah.
So you got that experience under your belt, but I don't know. It's just the direction that the conversation went, and I felt like there was a lot of real. Genuine earnestness in the conversation, and Lucky opened up a lot, and I feel like Lucky is somebody who doesn't get enough recognition either for a lot of the great horror films that he's done over the years. And I just I thought it was a genuine, really poignant interview.
I can't wait for people to see the next interview with the director because that one's even deeper.
I've heard about that, and I'm excited about that one. When's that dropping? Do you have any updates?
It'll probably be not this coming Monday, but the Monday after that.
Okay, cool. I'm excited for everybody to see that one, too. Including myself.
This is true. February 6th, Mubi is releasing the Kingdom Trilogy from Lars von Trier in the U.S. This is going to be a 7-disc set, and it will have all three, the Kingdom 2, and the Kingdom Exodus from 94, 97, and 2022. And let's see, it has been restored. Let's see what it says. Beautifully restored and never before seen versions of each episode. and it's supposed to be a pretty solid release. Mubi so far has been doing really well,
Movie does
really
do.
well.
I have quite a few movie releases. Yeah. See, you're getting lots of love for the. Thanks, Dan. Lots of love for the Lucky McKee interview.
I appreciate you all.
Is this not part of the Lars von Trier box set that just came out?
It is not.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to pick it up.
Yeah, so this is a perfect companion piece. Sibner says, Mubi slowly but surely showing its strength in the physical media world. Not only that, Gary Mulligan. That's amazing. What a callback, especially with you on the
I've been
show.
trying to get him to. I
Mubi,
gave him
though,
Victor Salva's direct phone number.
Mubi has been putting out most of their stuff in the UK, and now that they're doing some stuff in the US, I'm very curious to see how they do this moving forward, because they're not going to be able to get licenses in both regions most of the time, obviously. But I really hope they keep sort of pushing some of these titles, because their releases in some instances have been better than what people would expect the better release to be. Like Drive My Car, I believe is came out from Mubi in the UK, and it had like a 3-hour featurette that Criterion's did not, and that's a big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah, I have both versions because I love that movie. But yeah, movie is definitely the superior one. And hey, if we hadn't gotten an A24, one of those A24, boutique releases for After Sun, movie's the only one that put that out too.
And the sad thing is, I bought the After Sun from Mubi before A24s came out.
I don't mind. I got both too. The more support that movie can get, the better in my book.
Well, and I, just like Silent Mandible just said, along with Criterion Channel, I like to always be subbed to Mubi, even when I'm not watching it a lot, because I want them to have my money and support. Mubi, they need it. They're the type of company that's putting the time and energy into all of this. So,
Mubi, Second Sight, honestly, even the name just slipped my tongue, but the company that did just put out the Lars von Trier set,
Curzon.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. They're fairly new to the game too, and they're putting out beautiful sets.
You are wrong.
I'm wrong.
Yes,
they've been around for a while.
Yes, they've been around for quite some time.
Why am I just hearing about them now?
Because
they start doing these sets.
They started just doing these lavish box sets. Before then, they were partnered with a company called Artificial Eye, and they were looked down on. So a lot of times, like I have a release of The Handmaiden up there that was Curzon, and on the side it says Curzon Artificial Eye because they worked together on it. And from what I remember, I believe Curzon just got bought by somebody that is in the US, and they're putting a lot of attention into this to be like.
Oh, so they're kind of rebranding themselves.
Kind of, yes.
Well,
and yes, Curzon itself is a boutique cinema chain in the UK.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Here's a good question. I've still never seen The Kingdom. Could The Kingdom be a good introduction to Lars von Trier overall? Have you seen The Kingdom?
I have not. I love Lars von Trier.
It's not been super easy to see. That's the hard part.
What's that hospital one that he did? That's a show. Why can't I remember the name of it?
I have not been able to see any of his TV stuff.
I think it's called Kingdom Hospital, which is why I'm asking about it. But I guess maybe it's not part of this set because I didn't see it on the list.
Oh, well, it says strange things are happening in the underbelly of a Danish hospital.
Oh, okay.
So it might be Kingdom or Kingdom 2 then.
Because they did. Here, I'm going to look it up while we're talking. I have not seen if it is that. Well, you keep.
David says that's the Kingdom, and Tony says I think it is.
Then in that case,
Tony says Kingdom Hospital is the remake of The Kingdom, and that's one that Lars von Trier did with Stephen King.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. So that remake I watched, but not the original. I did like the remake. Obviously, as they just mentioned, Lars von Trier was involved in it with Stephen King, which of course is quite the duo. And I quite enjoyed it. So I look forward to seeing the original by purchasing this beautiful set. if it's anything like Kingdom Hospital, which I'm sure it is, if Kingdom Hospital is a tried and true remake, then I would say it is a good entry. So take it with a grain of salt because I haven't actually watched The Kingdom. But if it resembles Kingdom Hospital enough, then I would say it's a good introduction to Lars von Trier. Yes,
I agree with Ronnie. Not confusing at all. Very, very confusing.
all the kingdoms back and
Yep.
forth.
Big Disc Energy says it's been a few years. Any thoughts on Von Trier's The House That Jack Built?
It's one of my favorites of his.
I think it's fantastic. I think
Yeah,
that
I
it
love it.
is really well acted. I think they picked the perfect person to star in that film.
I agree. They did for a while, and I don't think they do it anymore, to my knowledge. They were doing on top of the Montalban Theater here in Hollywood. They would have rooftop screenings up there, co-sponsored, I believe, by Cine Lounge. And I saw quite a few films up there on the roof during the brief period of time that they were doing these, including Mandy as well. But House That Jack Built was one of the ones I saw on the rooftop of the Montalban. And boy, was that a trip to watch that movie in the open air, like high elevation with headphones on.
Yikes.
But yeah, I mean, we even got little House That Jack Built masks at that screening. I'll have to show you sometime.
Nice.
But I love that movie.
Yeah, so this is a pretty big deal announcement. A lot of people are very excited about this. Next up, well,
I'm excited about The Kingdom, actually, now that we talked about it and figured out that it's the original of the remake that I've seen. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the original and purchasing that set.
Well, the next thing on there is another piece of self-promotion, but I guess I could just show the Physical Media Advocate is finally physical in real magazine form. You can get the newest issue number 6 on Amazon. And also, if you don't want to go to Amazon, I will have extras. And if you buy from me, I can send you a copy.
How do I buy from you so I don't have to support Amazon?
DM me and I'll send it to you.
DM you?
Okay. Yes. DM me over text.
You know what the Physical Advocate getting a physical release gets?
It gets balloons, and nobody even has to pay. Maybe not.
Oh no! Where are they? There you go.
Woo! Yay!
And fireworks.
I'm intensely proud of this and the way that it looks. I really hope that people check this out. And this, as long as we can keep it the length that it was for this issue, it should be coming out every single month. For the back issues that were now out on physical, I'm going to be doing a compendium of issues 1, 2, and 3 to come out as one, and then 4 and 5 will come out as one as well. So you can get all of them together. But also, this has like the second part of Craig's origin story from Deaf Crocodile. You want the first part, so we're going to get that out, and it's wild to see in person, man. I'm shocked that we could get this done, but it's pretty rad.
Yeah, to hold it in your hand like that, as somebody, I mean, we talked about this before. To actually hold the physical product is a big deal.
Next thing is one that I am shocked is out on physical as well. We're getting another Netflix release of Wednesday coming on Blu-ray, and we don't have a release date for this yet, but it is coming, and you can pre-order this now from a few places. Netflix didn't own this; they just distributed it, so it's the reason that it was released. I think compared to some of their other stories, or not stories, I was reading Sardis's comment as I said that their other films and series are not getting releases, but this one makes sense. So,
stoked because I actually really enjoyed the show, and I'm a Jenna Ortega stan, as the kids say.
Yeah, I'm especially a Jenna Ortega stan after the whole Scream 7 debacle, which is ridiculous.
God bless her for that. I mean, yeah, as if I didn't have another reason to love her.
We definitely don't need to go into the whole Melissa Barrera thing and all that, but it is a ridiculous move from that studio to remove something.
They don't have a movie anymore unless if they somehow flip flop this. I don't think they have a quality film anymore without those two.
if you're Melissa Barrera, you don't go back to a movie after they do that.
That's true too. Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I was excited too because I got what's his face directing it. I can't think of his name. Who did Freaky and Happy
oh,
Death Day?
yeah.
He was directing the new one, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be good. I was actually really excited about it. And now it's just like, why bother? That since they're gone, you lost your two main leads of the reboot.
Will says Jenna Ortega was out due to a wage dispute several months ago. Then why was it announced the day after?
Will just likes to stir the pot.
Christopher Landon is the director's name.
That's who it was.
Next,
I like Christopher Landon a lot.
I do too. I really, really like Happy Death Day, and Freaky was great.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen his adaptation of it, but I don't know if I can support it anymore.
I still hope that they do a third Happy Death Day somehow, because, man, I don't even know, like, has the main what is the main character's name? I forget her name.
The character or the actress?
The actor.
Jessica.
Oh, it's Jessica Roth. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jessica Roth is incredible in those. And so
as that character, yeah, she does such a good job.
Yeah. I really wish she would do more films, but I think that she killed it as that character. And anything that they can do to get her more work would make me happy for sure.
I haven't seen her in a whole lot since those movies. So yeah, I agree with you.
Has she done anything since those movies?
She's done some stuff. I did see her in some romantic comedy that was on one of the streaming services, I believe. But yeah, I would love to see her in more stuff too.
Oh, I think I remember getting told that she was doing some TV.
She was in, let's see, Body Brokers, which was some streaming movie thing from 2021. I think All My Life is the thing I was thinking of. I forget what platform that was on, but it's just a romantic comedy that she was in. But yeah, she hasn't done much since Happy Death Day, sadly. I would like to see more of her as well. I think she's great.
People are pointing out the Valley Girl remake that she was in.
Oh, I did not watch that.
I have not seen that either. Oh, and that came out right after Happy Death Day to You. Interesting. Okay, what is going on, Cam? Hello, Cam. What is our next title? Oh, I hate self-promotion. I got asked to contribute to Jim Lexowski's piece that he does for Substack, and if you want to check that out, I wrote on the most important things in life, which are the Muppets, ska music, and barbecue. So if that sounds interesting, check that out. Link was in that post. Next up is there is a Kino sale live right now, and this one's odd because usually, like clockwork, it's almost always December 4th, and they came out and their sale was a week early, and it's a little lighter than most of their sales. Usually their sales are like 850 titles. This one's just over 500, which is still a massive sale. And they've got some good ones, and again, quite a few newer titles, which like the Kino Cult titles are already on sale. The American Ninja titles already on sale. It's
what about
crazy.
Final Cut? I didn't look at it personally. Did you happen to see if Final Cut was on there?
I don't think it is, and
Okay.
I probably wouldn't have noticed because I got it in the last Target sale.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Nice.
My feelings on barbecue would not make a lot of people in Texas happy, Sibner. My feelings on barbecue are that I am a sauce person, so I happen to fit in perfectly in Kansas City barbecue.
Ryan took me to one of his favorite barbecue places when I was visiting him, but not his favorite because unfortunately that one was closed.
That's what happens when we try to go on a holiday.
Oh, Joel says Final Cut is in there. That's great. Yeah. Maybe that looks like I have to spend more money now.
I'm shocked.
What's the threshold to get free shipping on Kino?
$50.
Oh, easy. Okay, great.
Easy. I only have to buy 12 titles.
I'll get both the American Ninjas. I'll get Final Cut and like 2 other things. Boom, bada bing.
There you go. There you go. Next up is the Glenn Danzig film Death Rider in the House of Vampires from 2021 is getting a Blu-ray release.
This
And
is a
it's
good
being
part. This is a good moment for me to take a pee break.
potentially. This is coming out from Cleopatra Records, and they are doing like 5 or 6 different slipcovers for this film. So if you really want to catch them all, you're gonna have a lot of Danzig in your house. Um, I don't see anything about features on this release, and I don't think there are any. I think it's just the film. How do you feel about Danzig, Jeremy? You got very quiet.
I've had a personal experience with Danzig, and I do not like him. I think not only my personal experience, but I've heard. How much did you spend on Final Cut, Ryan? More than 10.99?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I've heard so many horror stories about him from people that I really like and trust, and then after my personal experience with him, I can say that he's a piece of shit.
Yet there's a lot of love in the comments. Will says I will tolerate no Danzig slander.
Well, Will always says that.
Craig from Deaf Crocodile says weirdly I've met him twice.
I like his music. I'm a big fan of the Misfits and some of Danzig.
Tony's not
a fan. I agree with Tony.
John Peters wants to know who's a better person, Brie Larson or Danzig?
That's a tough one. I'll get back to you, John. No, probably Brie.
All right. Moving right along. Jana's Contemporaries is putting out A Fire. From 2023.
Sorry,
This one says this one says while vacationing by the Baltic Sea, writer Leon and photographer Felix are surprised to encounter Nadia, a mysterious young woman staying at a guest house at the holiday home of Felix's family. Nadia soon distracts Leon from finishing his latest novel, not only because of her passionate liaison with lifeguard David, but also because her brutal honesty forces Leon to confront his artistic inadequacies. This one will have a Meet the Filmmakers new interview with the director and a trailer on it.
Ooh.
What's wrong with the pun, Sibner? Come on.
I'm catching up in the chat, and I see that Dude McMahon says that they don't charge tax either.
Correct.
Like, you know. Looks like I'm getting some movies after this stream.
What's up, KB and Dead Sea Life? Let's see. Stan says he's neutral on Danzig.
Have you met Danzig, Stan? Deaf Crocodile said he met him twice. I would love to know what your experiences have been with him.
And next episode on the Danzig cast. Anyways.
Oh, Anthony's correct. I'm catching up in the comments. Anthony says later in the Discord, Jeremy says, I need help cutting down my Kino card.
And that will be after he texts me and I get him to remove like 4 titles.
Yeah, it's way too accurate.
Have either of you seen the new Furiosa trailer? I have not seen it yet.
I have, and it looks dope. George Miller's a genius. I can't wait.
It got posted as I was posting the final 2 announcements tonight.
DC says, show us on the doll where Danzig touched you, Jeremy. He didn't touch me, but I watched him almost kick a random dude's teeth in for telling him to be quiet and stop talking at normal indoor talking volume during the premiere of VHS 99.
So why are you getting so loud to tell us about that?
Because it makes me very heated to think about that situation.
Dude McMahon says, I hope you can spend $500 on the Kino sale, Jeremy.
I hope you send me $500 to spend on the Kino sale, Dude McMahon.
Next up is a big one for Jeremy. February 21st on Blu-ray, Umbrella Entertainment is releasing 3 films by Lee Chang-dong.
I'm stoked about this one. And Umbrella puts out some really great box sets too. Not quite Second Sight or Curzon level, but I'm sure this is going to be a beautiful set, and it's 3 beautiful films. I can't wait to have in my collection.
So if we were going to have a category for most improved in the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards, I feel like that might almost go to Umbrella for the
Sure.
amount of work they've started to put into this stuff. Unfortunately, they've also made a lot of really terrible decisions this year, especially in the actual films. Uh, like the fact that their release of Razorback is still incorrect and stretched.
Mhm.
And yeah, I really wish that they had got some of that together. Anyways, this looks great. In this, we are going to have Peppermint Candy from '99, Oasis from 2002, and Poetry from 2010. And there's going to be some extras in this, including new commentaries, behind the scenes archives. We're going to have some discussions at the BFI, trailers, all kinds of stuff. And all three films are getting extras, including one with Alexandra Heller Nicholas. That's going to be on Poetry. And if you order it from Umbrella, you get one of their fancy packages, the hard box with the numbers and all that fun stuff.
Super stoked. In fact, actually, Umbrella's whole new lineup that they just announced for February is pretty great. I mean, this takes the cake, but I'm catching up on the comments as I mentioned earlier, and I'd like to say to Sardis that I would love to work on Colbert, so they should call his cell phone as he asked, as he suggested. I also want to say that just when I'm starting to kind of like Dr. Will Dodson again, he goes and says something like, "If Danzig wishes to speak, the theater should listen." In the middle of a movie, get the hell out of here, Will.
Anyways, the next title from Umbrella is a big one. The Hitcher, the original 1986 Hitcher, is coming
Yeah,
on Blu-ray on February 21st. Now, obviously, everybody watching this and listening to this knows that Second Sight is releasing The Hitcher on 4K. So this is one for people that are in Australia. This is one for people that don't care about 4K. It looks like a really nice, solid release. Unfortunately, it has no new extras on it, which I'm willing to bet the Second Sight one will be just loaded with extras.
yeah.
But this is one of those odd choices that I was just referring to. If this is already announced as coming in 4K from someone else, you would think you would want to compete with that in somehow. And not saying that this had to be 4K, because I understand UHDs are expensive, but you would think that you would have wanted to get at least something new. And granted, that might not be up to them. The studio may have said, hey, you can release this, but we don't want anything on the disc other than what we've previously approved. So I'm not going to necessarily hold it against them, but this is one that I do wish, if they were wanting to compete, had a little bit more, we'll say, like meat on the bone.
I agree. But this next one that you're about to flip to, I'm also really excited from Umbrella.
Well, that's it for the show. Thank you. The next one then is Paul Verhoeven's first English language film, Flesh and Blood, from 1985. Now,
I
once
bet you
again,
Anthony's excited about this one.
he is not, because he's
Oh,
like I was about to say, this has already been announced as coming from Cape Light soon in the US and UK, I believe.
and it's
On
a better release.
It'll be a Blu-ray media book, so if you're into media books, it will be a nice pickup, especially because it will be a US release. And this one looks crazy good if you want all of the extras, because a media book's not going to have all of these extra art cards and the giant book. Plus, also this has a genuine film cell in it. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I like
And
the art a lot too on this one.
yeah, the inner art is great, and overall the art that they're choosing for the box and everything, it's nice. This looks like a fun set.
I'm excited about this one. I'm probably going to be putting in an order with this and the 3-film set. Personally, those are my two favorite releases from this month from them.
Dead Sea Life says, have any VS subscribers gotten their package for this month yet? Has the April Fool's slip in it? And I'm dying to know what it is. Funny enough, as we were covering Flesh and Blood, somebody just messaged me on Facebook to say that Fatal Games got the April Fool's Day slipcover.
Wow.
So somebody's already gotten their subscriber package. Not sure if it's a lenticular or a hard box or something yet, but there's something with Fatal Games.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good to know. We finally got the got the insider secret on that.
Umbrella's next title is Bluebeard from 1972. This is one that, again, just came out fairly recently from another boutique. And this one's going to have a new audio commentary by David Del Val and Daniel Marino. It's also going to have a discussion with Kim Newman, which Kim Newman is pretty amazing. David Del Val's great too. So stoked that this is getting a release and it's getting new extras. And then two more titles left. First one, Dr. Crippen from 1963 from Umbrella, coming on February 21st as well. This is a Donald Pleasance joint with a whole stack of new extras. We got a new audio commentary with Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons. Jonathan Rigby is great. And then a new discussion with Kim Newman on this one. The only thing that's odd, the art that they're using right here is from a still from a very well-known Roman Polanski film, and not Dr. Crippen. How do you release a film like this and have the key art that is referenced in everything be from a different film altogether?
I don't know. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how you can legally do that, to be quite frank. Not even just like how'd they make that mistake and how did it slip past so many eyes or whatever, but how could they legally do that?
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
All right, as you're wrapping up this last announcement, I'm going to take a bathroom break. I'll be right back.
You got it. Have fun. The last Umbrella announcement is Red Corner with Richard Gere from 1997, coming on February 21st. This will have a new audio commentary by Heath Holland, who is the Serial at Midnight guy. And then From Tiananmen to Hollywood, The Legacy of Red Corner by L. Scott Jose. And yeah, another solid month. Let's see. Never thought this would get put out, says Sibner. Hire a dumb graphic designer and don't check. Yes, that's exactly how that happens. It's pretty impressive to go that low. From Wellgo on January 16th, they are releasing The Child from 2023. Now, at first, this didn't really catch my eye too much, but then this is written and directed by Park Hoon-jung, who also did I Saw the Devil and New World, which are both fantastic. So The Child follows a man born to a Korean father and a Filipino mother who aspires to be a boxer. He travels to the Philippines in the hopes of tracking down his father, and in the process, he gets mixed up with some bad people. This sounds interesting. I can't wait to see this. Solid director. I Saw the Devil, amazing. New World, very good. Very curious to see how this turns out. This art is a little odd. I don't know. Obviously, this is not like a portrait. It looks a little bit weird. But yeah, I'm very curious to check this one out. And then our final announcement is also from Wellgo, and they are releasing a film called Monster from this year. And this says, after a mother discovers that a teacher's bullying is behind her young son's sudden strange behavior, she storms into a school demanding an explanation. Continually left without satisfactory answers and with an increasingly distressed child, she furiously escalates her concerns to the school board and the media. But as the story unfolds through the multi-layered perspectives of mother, teacher, and child, the real truth gradually emerges and proves much more complex than anyone could have expected. And as somebody who has 2 kids and worries about some of this, I am very worried about watching this movie, but I definitely want to check it out. Sibner, that's a great comment. Humboldt Horror Journey says, saw Monster at Calgary Film Fest and it's really good. Interesting. Ted Sea Life, great question. Why are there so many movies called Monster not about monsters? To be fair, this one might be about a monster, and it sounds like the teacher might be a monster. Yes, Craig, final announcement, and it's only 90 minutes in, but we still have a long discussion to have about Oscars. And with Jeremy here, the Oscars is going to be a long discussion for sure. After we talk about all those announcements, we always share what is coming out next week, just in case you forgot. So let's give a highlight to those. Wow, Joysticks on Amazon is down to $19.99. Yeah, I could see that going even lower, to be honest. It's basically the same disc as prior. so it doesn't make much sense to charge much more. Titanic is the big title coming out next week on 4K, and it has been getting rave reviews on how the 4K looks, especially the digital bits. Bill Hunt says that it is an astonishing looking release. Can't wait for Titanic. Then Point Break 4K is a big one for next week. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny also coming next week. Days of Heaven 4K from Criterion. Moving right along, we got Silver Bullet 4K from Scream Factory, Young Guns 4K, and a 4K Steelbook also coming for Young Guns. Babylon 5, the complete series, Stand By Me 4K. That's a new Steelbook release with Dolby Vision now. Blast of Silence from Criterion. The Color Purple 4K is coming out next week. Star Trek Strange New World Season 2. Creepshow Season 4 from RLJE and Shudder. The Inspector Wears Skirts from 88 Films. Office Christmas Party in 4K, Jeremy's favorite Christmas film.
Never thought we'd see a 4K of that.
It is so odd that in 2023 we're getting a 4K of Office Christmas Party.
It's a fine movie, but
with TJ Miller presented front and center on the art.
Not deserving of a 4K. Sorry for taking a little while. I was getting critiqued by some of my coworkers at how much soda I had.
Well, and isn't it a jaunt to your bathroom there?
It's a little bit of a jaunt, yeah. I'm excited about the Northern Exposure complete series, TBA.
Yeah, that one came kind of out of nowhere. Odd Couple complete series also next week.
And looking forward to season 4 of Creepshow.
Whoops. Yes, that's a very hit or miss in the entire series, but the ones that hit pretty well.
Yeah.
Eye for Icarus from Kino next week. Blue Jean Monster, 88 Films. Tokyo Pop from Kino. That's one that I definitely need to be getting soon. $1,000 billion from Kino as well. The Exiles from, I believe that's Milestone Pictures. Ballad of Little Joe from Kino. Pajama Party. Thunder Road coming from the wonderful people at Sandpiper Pictures, as they're also releasing Break-In, Break-In 2, and Blackula on Blu-ray. Now, I will remind everybody, these are decent discs, but they are not an upgrade. If you have those old titles, it's literally the exact same thing. So do not be surprised if there's ever an upgrade on those. Maybe next year we'll get The Night Before in 4K. I feel like that had already came out in 4K. Did it not?
I don't know.
It did not. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
If they're releasing very underseen Christmas comedies in 4K, they keep that trend up.
Sarda says, what is the Blue Jean Monster? The Blue Jean Monster says a cop turns into a monster after being gunned down and electrocuted in a triad shootout. Dude McMahon says, I can't wait for the big Sandpiper sale, if only. All of their discs have stayed pretty pricey.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Silvestri, does anyone know why 8-Bit Christmas and A Christmas Story Christmas only got DVD releases? I just realized this, and it's baffling. Because people are not bright. That's the biggest thing. A Disturbance in the Forest, that documentary, releases next Tuesday. Monsters of California releases next week. And All Jacked Up and Full of Worms from TerraVision and The Head from TerraVision are shipping now. And a reminder, The Head is by Michael Keane, another YouTuber who's been on the channel before, and highly suggest supporting him and TerraVision and what they're doing. What's your biggest title coming out next week?
Out of these picks?
Out of all the ones that we just covered for next week.
I jumped in the middle of it.
You jumped in on Titanic, which is the first title.
Oh. I would say Creepshow season 4. I like the show overall.
I
like Titanic, but I'm not one of those diehard fans. I'm sure I'll pick up the 4K, but I'm not like oh my god about that one.
You should be.
What else? Scroll back down again.
No.
Well, obviously the TerraVision titles are exciting as always.
Yes, and I will echo what is being said in the comments that All Jacked Up and Full of Dirt is nuts. This title, Brad said that some people after watching it are going to feel like they might go to prison. So it's the type of movie that if you want wild, you should check out, All Jacked Up and Full of
How
Dope.
could I forget about Office Christmas Party in 4K? We were just talking.
Touche.
Three inflation.
I will say a big one for me, since it hasn't gotten a lot of fanfare from you. I really love Young Guns, and
I thought you were going to say Dial of Destiny.
I've still not seen it.
Yeah.
I had to get Young Guns ordered literally the day it was announced. That
Nice.
movie, yeah, that is a wonderful, wonderful movie.
As not a huge Western fan, as you know, Ryan, I do enjoy Young Guns. It's one of the few Westerns that I enjoyed. So I'll probably pick it up as well. I'm not itching to get it, but I'll probably pick it up.
Well, that is it for announcements. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share with someone else that may appreciate this.